to the Go Get Us podcast, but we haven't decided yet, but we're going to keep doing it anyway. I am Colby.
And I'm a tarantula with 2 AK-47s for arms. But you can call me Fee.
But, tarantulas, okay. We got to pause, because tarantulas, number one, have 8 legs, and I guess no arms, which are 2 of the legs AK-47s?
No, okay, so you're gonna think this is funny, but all of its legs, all of its regular spider legs are regular. It has just 2 human jotting arms on its back.
Damn.
But those arms are not just regular. They're AK-47s from the elbow down.
Okay. So these are just like additional arms that this tarantula found somewhere.
He was born like that, or fucking.
He was born doing push-ups with his regular human arms.
God damn it. I think I came up with that because I don't know if you remember. I don't know what the game is called, but it was like on PS1, and it was like a spider with like a knife on one of its foot and like a gun attached to the other.
Oh my God.
It was a PS1 game.
Okay.
Here,
Yeah, it's called Spider. It's called Spider, the video game, and it's sure enough on the cover. It's got 1 leg with a gun and 1 arm with a knife.
Yeah.
Very good.
I don't know. I guess I was on Tumblr, and I subscribed to like a classic video game like cover art and stuff, and that one like was on the board, and I was like, that's cool,
man.
But that's not a tarantula. That's like a house spider. But I thought, God, why aren't we doing more cool stuff like that?
I mean, it honestly depends on your definition of what cool is, because it's not that cool. I will say though, I'm looking at the Amazon reviews. Top Amazon review for this game, which like there shouldn't be any on Amazon, but there are. I really wish more people knew about this game. Don't get me wrong, it's a simple platformer at best. However, it's a fantastic game with great music, and you get to play as a badass super spider with guns and missiles. And I do need to point out that this man did spell badass BADA $, because
that's how you know.
Gotta censor yourself on Amazon. Daddy Bezos gonna be kicking out that review.
Yeah, big crook eye Bezos. So I didn't know. Like I guess just recently I've been seeing a lot of pictures of Jeff Bezos. But like one of his eyes is like he's got a what's it called to like one eye, like kind of like down and like one up, like that actor.
Oh, Forrest Whitaker?
Yeah, he's got a Forrest Whitaker situation.
Yeah, it's kind of what it looks like, yeah.
So he's weird. He's a very weird looking dude. And like, I think you showed me like that, it was this funny YouTube video where he was just being an asshole. And
what? Who? Jeff Bezos?
What it was. Yeah.
Not me.
I'm on the internet all the time. I probably saw it somewhere.
Oh man.
Okay, wasn't here for once. Jeff Bezos is weird. Elon Musk is also weird, and he just bought Twitter.
Yeah, embarrassingly, absolute tragedy. Which, to be fair, like Twitter is not my platform, so I don't care that much. But also, what an embarrassment! What an absolute embarrassment that is.
I don't see it changing really. And from what everyone is going on about, like, it's going to be the end of the world, and I'm just like, I just don't think he's going to change anything. I just think he's going to ban fewer people. I guess that's it.
The thing is, number one, he's... I'll just go ahead and say it. Elon Musk is a hypocritical little bitch. So I'll start off by saying that. He
come on the show and prove us wrong.
He claims to be like a free speech absolutionist, which basically means like you should be able to say whatever you want all the time, forever, everywhere. Which includes, by the way, like public safety things, like, you know, you should be able to yell fire in a crowded movie theater, right? So that's like a really stupid thing for an adult to believe.
Yeah.
And also, I really get the feeling that like he is doing this because so the way that he brought this up is he was like, well, Twitter is like a public forum, so we should have free speech on Twitter. And number one,
Yeah.
Twitter is a website that people own that like, you know, has ads and shit on it. So it is not like a public service, number one. Number two, you could only consider it a public forum if you're spending all of your time on that platform. Like if Elon Musk spent his time doing some other shit besides like doing whatever he does with his business and then being on Twitter, like if he had a hobby or some shit, then maybe he wouldn't think that. But like he does, it's God, is it embarrassing. I'm so embarrassed for him.
I think he wanted to be like the next 4chan.
That wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
I feel like Elon was like in the early 4chan days, like he was on there. He was just like, "Hello guys, it's me. I am in Africa, and I don't know how he talks. He talks kind of weird. I thought he had an English accent at once, but like he's from South Africa, so it's weird."
Dog, I will tell you. You and I grew up in relatively the same area, and we both have that amount of ignorance about us. So like, there's not a lot of diversity in South Texas, right? Like, it's basically mostly Hispanic people, and then second place is white people, and then third place is like black people, and then there's like 4 Asian people to the like entire like RGV. So like. Yeah,
but only 4, and
only
every
4.
Every
they
city they cap out at 4.
Yeah, it's like the government basically provides us with like a couple just to see what it could look like. But as a result, like South African accent was not something that I was exposed to until I went to New Zealand, actually. And I went to a pizza place, and I'm like sitting there. I ordered my pizza. The waitress like talked in not a New Zealand accent, but like similar enough to it that I was like, God, what? Like, I wonder where in New Zealand you get like that that accent.
Yeah,
from.
that accent.
And then I just like eventually it got to me. Like she gave me my pizza, and I went, you know what? I'm in a foreign country. I'll just ask her. It's fine. If people hate me here, I'm leaving. And so I was like, hey, where is your accent from? And she was like, oh, this is South African. And I was like, oh, huh. Well, that's cool. So, like, you just don't hear a lot of South African accents. And Elon Musk is, like, by this point, he's been very, like, American-fied in a lot of aspects.
Yeah, but then you hear, like, every other, like, syllable.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's just hard to pin. Like, you hear him talk, and then you're like, wait a minute.
You're like, where's this man from?
Yeah, like, I didn't know where he was from. Like, his accent threw me all the way off until, like, I found out it was from South Africa. But, like, speaking of accents, I was working at overtime at where my mom works. Mm-hmm. This happened last year. And when you work by ships like I do, you see a lot of, like, foreign people. Mm-hmm. And some of the foreign guys, they're really nice. They would always come out if you're working like back there by the ships. They would always come and feed you off the ship. You know, they get like food sent to them. They'll give you a nice ass plate.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so like it was this Scottish guy, like thick Scottish accent, and I was like, oh, he's so nice. It's really cool. I was talking to my friend, and I was like, I wonder how, like, I've never heard a Scottish person pronounce anything like Hispanic sounding. I was like, I was like, I wonder if he'd say my name, if he'd be cool with that. And they were like, no, don't, you know, they're like, that'd be cool, but like, I don't, like, how do you ask that?
Yeah.
So, like, he goes out, right, and he comes back like an hour later, and I'm like, yo, hey, and he's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, can you do me a favor? I'm like, can you say, like, my first name and my last name? Because, like, I've never heard anyone with your accent say like Hispanic sounding names or whatever. I'm like, if you
You
don't
just
want,
straight
I'm
up
like, if you
ask
don't
him
want,
the actual question. Nice.
I
no,
did.
like, no scheme or anything. You're just going straight into it. That's great.
Yeah, I did. I didn't know how else to ask him, so I just asked him, and he was like, "Yeah, no problem." I'm like, "Thank you." I'm like, I don't want to like sound like offensive, but I don't hear people with your thick Welsh accent usually. So I told him my name, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, here, can you record it for me because I want to record it?" And yeah, sure enough, he did, and it was like really cool, but also a letdown because it was really funny, but like it wasn't that mind blowing. I was just like, oh, that's kind of how I figured it would sound. But then like he was a good sport about it, and I was just like, oh, thanks. So yeah, that happened, and I think that's really fun.
That's the best way to end off any story. That happened, and I think it's really fun. Just sounds sounds like you just got done teaching like a vacation Bible school parable. Like,
I mean, there's no like he was just like he flipped me a thumbs up and he was like, no problem, brother. Like I can't do it.
Yeah.
He's like, no problem, brother. And he fucking Sean Connery his way back to the boat.
He says, take your Sean Connery ass out of here, you rapscallion, get out of here.
And then I never talked to him again. But. Like I said, that's what I deal with accents. Because if it's not like some foreign accent, it's always just a thick Mexican accent, and I'm really pissed off. I always get pissed off because I know. I don't know if this is racist, but I'm Mexican. I'm brown. I'm a brown.
One brown.
But like I know when I'm Mexican, like. An actual like immigrant Mexican is because they all work in the refinery. Wants to ask me something to come my way. They just have a certain like air about them that you could just tell. And then when they start talking and they want to speak to you, it's broken English. But when they see me, they speak to me in fluent ass Mexican, and I'm like, I catch like 3 words, and I'm just like, no habla español. Habla inglés, por favor. And they're just like, no habla. They're just like, and they kind of give me that look, like, because Mexicans, they don't like other Mexicans that don't speak Spanish.
I bet so.
They get real, like, actual, like, Mexicans from Mexico, if you can't speak Spanish, they're like, oh, that's like, they take offense to it personally. Like, I'm just like,
what do you mean you didn't grow up speaking the ancient texts?
The
sacred Jedi texts.
Dude, no joke. Like, I don't have any family in Mexico that I know about, and all my family lives in South Texas. And even though my mom and my dad and like some of my like older family speak fluent Spanish, like my mom didn't teach me.
Yeah,
she was like, or maybe she tried and I just didn't catch on. Like I don't know. Like I know some words, and I know how to speak like a few, but like not enough to get by, dude. Not enough at all. But like Mexicans, they just, ooh, you're a second-class citizen if you can't speak your own language.
Yeah. They're like, wow, way to betray all of us. And you're like, I was born here. What?
I was born in Texas, in America. Why would I know Spanish?
I like that your white voice is fucking Kermit the Frog.
I mean, if I could choose to be white and have a voice, it would be Kermit or Ray Romano.
Yeah, same voice.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a good voice, but yeah, that's just how it goes. But accents are always fun, and I mean no offense by it. I don't like. If like I laugh at your accent, it's not because I'm like laughing at you. It's just like I don't hear them enough to like other than TV, which, you know, anyone can do an accent. But like if you hear it in person, you're just like kind of like, oh man, that's cool.
I mean, to be fair, like there that does suck. I can imagine because I was in Japan, and like one time I went to lunch one time by myself. Because my wife speaks Japanese,
Yes.
like enough, right? Enough to get us by. And they also like understand like reading it and stuff. So basically, whenever they were at work, I was just in the hotel room and I was like, well, this is my life. I can't leave.
I am trapped.
Because like, and they were like, no, you could get by. You could just like hop on the train and like go here and do whatever. And like we had purchased food before, and I didn't need to like have any translation or anything. They just like pointed at stuff and I pointed at stuff and we got it done. But like, I decided, I was like, you know what? I am going to go out for lunch. I'm going to stop being like so nervous and so scared. And God, just... I chose to go to do you know about Big Boy?
The restaurant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Big Boy, there's a location in Japan. And I went there because I was like, well, I've never been to a Big Boy. Whatever. Let's go to Big Boy.
Yeah.
And so I go there and like this is already a bad idea because I'm like,
yeah.
all of the previous places that I have ordered food, it wasn't me sitting down at a restaurant and then like ordering food. It was like I brought my food to a counter, I handed them a credit card, and then I left. But here I walked in and was like, lunch, one lunch, and they were like, and they like ushered me over to a table, and I sat down and I went, oh shit. Oh God, I did not think that I'd be sitting down. Oh God, okay. You know what? It's fine. Don't panic. And so they brought me a menu, and I looked at the menu, and I ended up taking out my phone to do like Google Translate and stuff on it, and eventually I was just like, okay, I'm gonna get the hamburger steak because that's like the thing that they do here. I guess I'll get that, and I'll get like a couple of sides or whatever. And so like they came over, I pointed, and they asked a question, and I went, yes. And they said, okay. And then they left. And I went, boy, I hope that wasn't bad. I didn't even order a drink because I was like, I'll just drink when I get back. So I end up like, they bring me the food, and number one, like, how I can't. There's no recourse for me if the food is bad, and it wasn't that great. Like, they gave me a hamburger steak, which already, like, I'm not expecting it to be good because that's like, microwave TV dinner level of like dinner.
Hey, did it come with the little flag on it?
It didn't, but it did. It did come in like a sauce, like a brown kind of gravy. It was almost it's almost
Salisbury
like steak
steak.
Diane or something. Yeah, Salisbury steak. It was almost like Salisbury steak, but it was like it wasn't quite like an actual gravy. So like I eat it and it's kind of burnt, and I'm like, well, this is not good. The other thing is the restaurant is dead silent because no one is there. So it's literally just me and like 5 or 6 Japanese people in this building, and I'm like, oh God, this is so fucking awkward. What do I do? And I finished my meal, and then I'm like on my phone because I'm like, surely they're gonna come by. Surely they're gonna come by at some point. And I wait there for 15 minutes, just like hanging out on my phone. Just like, is anybody? Did you guys forget I was here?
Please, somebody help!
Please, I'm trapped. Please. I'm like sending text message to my family. I'm like, this is where I live now. I'm so sorry. I'm in the Big Boy forever.
I'm at this table. You can come in and see me anytime.
I'm becoming the Big Boy. They said I can't leave. They said I'm the Big Boy. So eventually I work out, like, I had the suspicion, but I eventually work out that, like, oh, you pay at the counter that I walked by when I came in. Like, I asked them to sit down for lunch, and then they said yes, and that's where I pay, I guess.
Yeah.
So I walk up there, and again, I'm like, oh, here's my receipt, because they put down the receipt, and I put my credit card on top of it, and then I waited 15 minutes, and I was like, oh, I guess there's another mechanism by which I pay.
It's
so I go
it's
up
like
there.
IHOP.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like IHOP. And so I go up there, I hand them the receipt, they scan it, and then they give me a total, and I put my card in, and then they ask me a question, and I go, yes. And then they ask me a follow-up question, and I look at them, and I go, sumimasen. Which just, I'm sorry. Yeah. And they're like, oh, no. And they, like, waved their hand and waved their head, and then I, like, finished up on the pin pad, and they waved at me, and I went, oh, that's my cue to leave now. I still have no idea what they asked me. I don't know if they were like,
to this day,
do you want a tip? Do you want a whatever? Do you want a to-go bag or anything? Like, I have no idea what they asked. I was just like, yes, and then they followed up and looked at me, and I went, oh, I'm panicking.
Just... Dude, they're probably just, like, talking about you when you left. They're like, what's up with that guy?
Oh my God, that guy doesn't know anything. Because, like, I only know three phrases in Japanese, and they're very powerful, because as long as, like, the people around you can speak some level of English, you're good. Which is, there's sumimasen, which is, like pardon me or excuse me, I guess. And then there's, oh God, what is it? Ego wakarimasen, which is I don't speak English, or sorry, it's Nihongo wakarimasen. I don't speak Japanese. Ego wakarimasu ka, which is, do you speak English? And as long as you know those three things, you're probably okay. And hand gestures and just, like, pointing, and there's Google Translate that you can talk into and have it talk for you. But God, like, the amount of times that I said, like, a thing in Japanese and then was expecting someone to go, cheer the way that this fucking idiot says sumimasen.
It's just old men. They're just like, you hear this fool?
Look at this fucking old. Look at this white man. He's here in the country. He does not speak the language.
What's this man doing?
He's holding up the line. They clearly just asked him if he wanted a bag.
Have a hamburger and a donut. You're obviously American.
God, like, the other thing is, like, okay, so bread in Japan is like white bread is like a dessert. I need you to know that white bread is like a dessert ingredient. And I need you to know that because we went to a convenience store and we were buying breakfast, and I was like, the fuck is this? This looks like a hot dog bun that's filled up with whipped cream. I was like, I don't know what's under this whipped cream, but now I gotta know, so I bought it. Motherfucker, it was just whipped cream on top of a hot dog bun. And I was like, what is this?
Oh my God.
Fucking this Japanese delicacy, hot dog bun with whipped cream.
It's very big in Japan. This is our best dessert. It's just fucking a hot dog bun, just with piped whipped cream.
And I was like, what is this supposed to? Is it missing something?
Am I supposed to do something? I clearly didn't follow the instructions.
You know what? I'm gonna eat it. And the thing is, like, because you're in a place where you can't read the language and you can't, like, ask anybody any questions or anything, I can't just, like, I imagined me going outside with my, like, whipped cream hot dog and, like, taking a bite of it on the street and someone going, why is that guy just eating a whipped cream hot dog without putting, like, the special sauce that you put on top?
Yeah.
Like, or where's the fruit that's on top of it or whatever? Like,
Yeah, did he not pick up the fruit packet that's right next to it?
That's right. Did he not do that? Wow, weird.
It's obviously right next to the toppings counter. Why didn't he get anything? What a weirdo.
They do say that white people don't have any flavor, and I guess they just white bread with white whipped cream, and that's it. They're just, wow, really boring.
That's the least flavor it can get. Dude, every time I watch anime, it's like they go to a bakery, and they just pick out, like, they have, like, melon bread, which is good. I've had it. Mm-hmm. Or, like, good, yeah. Buns, or, like, filled buns. But then they also just get, like, loaves of, like, little bread buns, and they eat it. And I'm always like, I wonder if that's, like, sweet bread.
I mean,
like, then again...
It's like as sweet as white bread, which is a little sweet. And that's like, they're like, ooh.
Like, then again, like, anime... anime, like, they always have, like, a loaf of bread that they just eat with water, and they're cool with that. And I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, I like bread, but...
Yeah, jeez.
I don't think I could just make it, like, for a couple of days rations of just bread and water. I mean, if I had to, really, I would, but...
Like, that's prison food, isn't it? It's just prison food.
I'm like, this is what we give to our fucking incarcerated. And I guess they get, like, just fucking porridge. They give porridge to their prisoners.
Yeah, I would imagine it's something like that, right? Like, it has to be.
It's like gruel rice porridge.
For a long time, basically, like, Japan was, like, super closed off and, like, didn't let any other country in. But they did like have some relations with a couple of countries, and I believe it was Portugal. Which is why, and they didn't have bread before that, which is why the word for bread in Japanese is the same as it is in Spanish. It's just pan.
Pan?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome. That's pretty cool. I want to go to Japan, dude. Like, you know, like, not because I'm a weeb or anything, that's part of it, but, like, just to experience, like, a culture that's, like, so different from ours would, like, be so fascinating.
Yeah, it is. And, like, the thing is, like, so whenever we went to Japan, I would never go with anyone. Like, if it was just you and me, I wouldn't go. Because, like, that same situation would happen in which they ask a question, I say yes, and then they ask a follow-up question, and I go, uh-oh. So, like, and that's gotta happen at least once.
See, but, like, the difference, like, I love when you tell your anxiety stories where you're just trapped in, like, conversations, or you're trapped by
just
circumstance.
Spiraling down into the darkness. I'm like, oh, God!
I love when you tell those stories because you're so fucking... You're like, you never know what to do. You're just like, for me, I would just keep speaking to them in English until, like, finally, like, someone from the back was like, I speak a little English. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, okay, I want to pay.
Yeah,
like,
payment, just, like, wave a credit card in the air, like, woo! I want to give you this.
I wish to pay now. I want to... I know, like, some shopkeepers speak a little English, and, like, some people speak a little bit, kind of, like, enough to just get by to know that no one speaks English. It's like, you know enough to tell people you don't speak Japanese, they know enough to tell people that they don't speak English.
Yeah, for sure. Most people have at least that in their arsenal, but, like, especially in Tokyo, like, Tokyo, where we were the whole time, and, like, we were staying in an area that was just like a business district. So there's a lot of people there that reasonably could have spoken English.
Yeah, did you stay in Shibuya?
No. Well, we stayed close. We stayed in Asakusa one night, and then we stayed in is it Chiba? Yeah, I think it's Chiba. Yeah.
Did you see any ghouls? You know, in Tokyo.
You know.
The show?
you know about the show, right? No, but yeah, like there. I went to the whenever I went to go buy Super Mario Super Mario Odyssey. Like I went to Akihabara to do it, and whenever I purchased the game, like the guy had enough English words to be like passport, and I gave it to him, and then he was like, "Don't open till go home," and I was like, "That's a pretty good. You strung together a pretty good sentence there. I understand what you meant. I'm not going to do it, but I understood what you meant."
I'm not going to follow your instructions, but man, you speak good.
Yeah.
I kind of want to like just walk on the street and see if people like just people look at it like, oh, what the fuck's what's the deal with that guy?
Yeah. Who's this man? Why is he here?
Who's this Brown? Like I imagine I look completely out of place to everyone, and I just kind of want to see how people react.
Yeah, I imagine so too. Like, I imagine white people are not that uncommon, but someone that like looks like you, I imagine they're like, "What the fuck? Who's this man?"
That's not the only reason I want to go, but I mean that's one of them. I just want to.
I mean, the fact that like I don't. Okay, so I keep stumbling over this thought because like. I want this to be a thing so badly, but I don't know that America could handle it. But like in Japan, they have like themed cafes and
yes.
like themed exhibits that have like short, limited time cafes. So you can imagine like a Hello Kitty cafe or a Final Fantasy cafe or whatever.
We have a Harry Potter cafe here in Corpus.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't know if it's open anymore. I haven't checked in on it, but I know where it's at. I passed by it once. And I read on a Facebook.
Corpus Christi. Wow, the coffee mug with 2 G's. Okay.
Yeah, because muggles run it.
Nice.
Yeah. It's still there, I think.
It's cute.
Yeah, so we do have that one thing. It's really weird that it's here in Corpus that we have a Harry Potter cafe.
Oh my god, I'm looking at some of the pictures. Fucking someone in chalk paint drew Dobby and they labeled him as El Dobby.
That's so fucking Corpus.
Why would you label him El Dobby?
El Dobby. The Dob. God damn it. I fucking love that. Hold on.
Oh, Jesus Christ. El Dobby is very good.
Yeah, we need more themed cafes and like just snack cafes in general because like Japan is so big in like sweet treats and desserts. Like it's not even funny. Or at least that's what anime leads me to believe.
Anime's not wrong. It is like very it is very much the desserts there are different. They're more like French. So like a lot of the inspiration comes from France. There is some like, you know, traditional Japanese stuff, but a lot of it is like a lot of like Japanese desserts are around like rice or they're like just basically like something that will cool you off. So Japan is like really into the idea of eating food based off of the season. So like you wouldn't want to eat like a really like hot savory bowl of ramen in the summer because it's so goddamn hot. What you would want to eat is like something that's cold because it's so hot outside. And then reverse, if it's cold outside, you want to eat something hot.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing, and I know what you're saying is not funny, but I'm looking at this picture.
This picture of El Dobby?
Of El Dobby. It's okay, so I'm looking at a bigger one I found like on Google, and it's just next to a bunch of just like regular pictures.
Yeah.
Like the Mona Lisa's on the wall, and just like Renaissance paintings and just old pictures of family, and then there's El Dobby.
Good old El Dobby, baby.
God damn it. Oh,
don't you worry about a thing. El Dobby's got you covered.
Senor, El Dobby es free. I don't know the fucking Spanish word for free. Oh shit! I love watching movies in different languages just to see how it sounds.
Yeah, there's so many things where like you're like, yeah, I don't know, I don't know this language, so it's whatever. But then like there's those like breakout performance where you go, whoa, okay, this sounds way better in French.
Yeah. Watch Aladdin in Japanese. That's fucking.
Oh
great.
yeah, I have the genie in Japanese is very
yeah,
good.
dude. We in high school, me and Colby, for whatever reason, we were watching a bunch of like Disney songs, and we're like, dude, put them in like Japanese or in different languages. So like for an hour, we're just looking at Disney songs in Japanese, and the Genie song is like the breakout star. Mm-hmm. The fucking Never Had a Friend Like Me in Japanese is so good.
Never Had a Friend Like Me in Japanese and German is also the other really good one.
Yeah.
Because German has so many goddamn syllables that they just have to cram them all in.
Dude,
and
yeah,
like it doesn't flow as well anymore.
To hear them like pronounce some of the words, but like it's a longer syllable word, and they're like and like they gotta like speak it real fast, but also stay on like rhythm. It's great. Just watching anything in a different language is just another fun way to be like, I want to watch this movie, but I've seen it so much, it's not fresh anymore. Watch it in a different language. It's just it's not new, but it's so much like so good.
Yeah, and it's really like because you either get like there's only 3 reactions, right? There's one that's like, oh, that's interesting. There's wow, this is really, really bad, or holy shit, this is better than the original. Those are basically the only 3 reactions that you get.
It amplifies the experience. It just makes not see the movie in a different light, but also just like be like, well, it's great to see what voice actor they chose for which person and how they sound. And not only that, some of the words and sentences are different because of language. So it's fun to see how they switch it up. So
it makes me I want somebody. I'm sure there's someone on YouTube that's doing this. Somebody that like grew up in Japan but knows a lot of English and like is really fluent in English, and then watches like anime that they grew up with in Japan in English and go, oh god, oh god, what did you do to my boy Naruto? Why is he saying believe it?
Because there's no like direct translation to fucking whatever he said.
It's not only like it's so funny because there are things like that in Japanese where like this is a word that basically like either modifies the sentence and like makes it like honorific in some way, or the way in which you're talking is like more respectful, or it's more like old fashioned or whatever. And whenever they translate that into English, they basically can go one of 2 ways. One, they can take the spirit of that and they can like make the words either old fashioned or make them like sort of in the same way, or they can be like, oh, well, that's just some shit they slapped onto the end of the sentence. I guess we'll just do that too, which is what they did in fucking Rurouni Kenshin as well.
Oh my god, I love Rurouni Kenshin though.
He's like, I used my sword, I did. And you're like, shut the fuck up, stop it!
No, I love fucking his weird way of talking in English.
It's so fucking dumb now.
I know, but it's so... I love that VA who plays fucking Kenshin in English.
Like, his voice is good. The things
but the way he
says
talks
are
is
bad.
Silly. But I think it's... I don't know, to me it sounds so good. And I've seen it both in Japanese and American. But something about I guess because I grew up with the American dub, I just like it so much better. Just, I don't know.
Dog, I'm the same way with Dragon Ball Z. Like, Dragon Ball Z in English is vastly superior to Dragon Ball Z in Japanese. Specifically because, like, and this is going to lead us into our fucking next topic, but, like, I didn't think that I really liked, like, shrill, screamy protagonists, really. Yeah, just like, and that's all. Like both Gohan and Goku sound identical.
Oh yes,
in Japanese, and they sound like
yeah.
And it's just terrible. Like, whereas like in English, you can like they talk in a way where you're like, oh, okay, this sounds like a regular guy. Okay,
yeah, fucking Sean Schemmel in his regular ass voice. And then the woman who plays Gohan sounds different. Like they sound different, and they both have their different ways of talking. It's not like Japanese Goku and Gohan talking. You're like, who's talking now? It's just, it's funny. And, like, Vegeta is the best VA in American. Like, I know people were like, oh, yeah, Japanese, it's great. It's good. But the American cast for DBZ is so spot on. Like, I wouldn't change it for the world. And unless, like, it's DBZ abridged, because I like those VAs on that a lot.
Yeah, I will say fucking so
Team
the guy who
Four-Star.
plays him in English is Christopher Sabat, right? And he
Wait, plays Goku or Vegeta?
plays Vegeta.
Oh, I was gonna say Sean Schemmel plays Goku.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so I was listening to a YouTube video recently about Christopher Sabat, because they were originally like. The video that I was watching was like, oh, Japanese Dragon Ball Z characters versus their English counterparts. And then I saw one that it was like early Vegeta versus now Vegeta. And like early Vegeta is like, oh, Kakarot, you can't overcome my power. And then now he's like, I am the Prince of all Saiyans. Fuck yeah, you are.
I love early Vegeta's voice. It's so silly.
Well, in early, like the early voice for him, he just sounds like such a little shithead. You're like, oh god, I hate this character.
I am the Prince of all Saiyans. You're a lowly little bitch. You shouldn't be able to win. Just fucking Nappa. What does the power reading say? I love it. I fucking
throw out some more Cybermen.
You're like, these Cybermen have the same power level as Reddits. I fucking love it.
So fucking good. Jesus.
Oh shit. No, it's different with like everything. Like I think my favorite. I hate when they do it in American, but because they can't say Aniki, which is Big Brother, they say Big Bro, and like, that's in every like. I'm like, oh, don't say Big Bro, and then they say it, and I'm like, ugh. I'm like, just say Aniki. I don't care.
Hey,
but
bro.
Like, hey, bro. Unless it's like Kuwabara, because Kuwabara is my favorite like dude bro voice.
Yeah, him and Joey Wheeler saying the word bro makes sense.
Oh yeah, dude, they look like they say bro just all the time. Fucking,
they do,
and their voice just so good in American. Joey Wheeler in his Brooklyn accent. Hey yo,
whoa, my car's about to become pizza.
I gotta summon the flame swordsman. Cause we're walking here.
I'm summoning pot of greed so I can walk here.
Baby dragon, take care of the Bruce Gadoosh. Just fucking. Why did they give him a Brooklyn accent?
I don't know. Like the thing is, like, I imagine that they were like, I don't know, we're bringing this over. We need voice actors. Who cares? And then like somebody came in and they're like, I don't know, this kid looks like he's from Brooklyn, and then they did a Brooklyn accent. And they went, good enough, but get in there.
This ain't gonna go more than one season, so it's fine. Like,
you know what? Best thing I heard all day. Get your ass in there.
Little did they know, fucking sleeper hit of the century, fucking Yu-Gi-Oh. Yo, send him to the Shadow Realm. I've got to. I can't do fucking Yami. I'm gonna send him. Oh, Yugi! Fucking.
That's where Yami loses all his life points and dies.
Which card are you gonna pick from your pathetic deck? My grandfather's deck.
My grandpa's deck has no pathetic cards.
Just fucking. God damn, that show's such a gem, dude.
Yeah, it is. Like, it's so good. The thing is, like, there are shows, and I guess I can't say this for certainty, but I'll start off by saying I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh! Really Kingdom Hearts itself, and started off with like this little show about this little card game, and then ended up with like, this guy's been possessed by this old pharaoh, and this guy has this other power, and the monsters are real now.
They're all pharaohs, and now all these fucking children TCG has fucking consequences. Real world consequences.
Oh God, you're gonna take my actual leg? Wow.
Yeah.
Beans.
What's that? If I lose, I die?
Actually die? Not Shadow Realm, just die? Okay.
Just straight up die. Get ejected off a blimp. Or fucking shot into space on a dragon rocket.
Yeah, like, because, okay, so the way that Kingdom Hearts has explored its lore is not like by going forward and being like, oh, Sora, if you don't lock all the worlds, everyone's gonna die. It's like, well, you'll be consumed by darkness. It's like, what does that even mean? But like, the way Kingdom Hearts has done it is they're like, well, instead of just darkness, there's these other things, and there's like more stuff, and that leads to other stuff that makes things more complicated. And like,
you'll never come back.
and no one will ever believe you, because no one can get the lore straight.
God damn it. But it looks cool.
Yeah. Whereas Yu-Gi-Oh's like, you bet if you don't draw a little Karibo right now, I'm going to shoot you in the goddamn knee, Yugi.
If Time Wizard doesn't enhance that baby dragon, you're going to fucking die, Wheeler. You're gonna fucking kill you.
Yug! I got kids!
Yug! I had to pawn my cards, my rent was due. They said they were going to break my legs, Yug! I needed that sub sandwich. I needed to buy me a grinder. Fucking what's a New York food? A hoagie.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh my God, have you seen that like TikTok of that guy in New York? Like he's just a regular guy, and he's like, I'm in New York, and he's like, I'm walking here, and he's in a crosswalk, and this woman comes up to him, and she's like, we don't talk like that. Don't you ever say that. We don't talk like that. He's like, oh, okay. I want you to fucking tell me you're not going to talk like that anymore. Okay. And then she turns around to walk away, and he's like, forget about it.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking great. I love that video so much. But that just all brings it all back to accents and like how everyone makes fun of accents. American, we get made fun of. Texas, we get made fun of for saying y'all. I have a friend from Washington, and she said when she went back home she was using the word y'all a lot, and her dad's like, what the hell is that? Why are you saying that? Like, what do you mean? Basically, And
I'm just what it means.
I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? It's just you all.
Yeah, y'all is like it's the least offensive, makes most sense Southernism that there is.
And yet, like, when people make fun of Texans, they're like, howdy, y'all! Just fucking, they give us this long Texas drawl. Like, and I think we've talked about it before, but like you notice every time they make fun of someone from Texas, they're always a rodeo star, and they own a ranch, and they have a cowboy hat, and they got boots, and they know how to work a rope. Let's rustle up some grub. But
the thing is, like, the show that was probably the best about like portraying what it is to be Texan really was probably King of the Hill. Because like that's very much like everything is just sort of steeped in it a little bit. It's not like there's no one character that's like, yeehaw, I ride my horse to school. But like you do get like some of the subtleties, like where like a large middle-aged white man has only two choices to drive, and it's like a tiny white Ford Ranger or a big King God. Ranch Edition Ford truck, right? Like, there's only those two.
You have no idea how many King Ranch trucks I see on a day-to-day, dude.
It's it's fucking crazy because, like, I don't know what's different about it, but people fucking go ape shit over it.
What the fuck what does King Ranch do? Is it just bigger? Like, why is it so good?
Yeah, is it bigger? I'm looking at
look it up.
Looking at what the differences are.
But yeah, dude, no, unironically, like I do the stereotype whenever I greet people. I always say howdy, y'all, like unironically.
Hell yeah!
Every time, like
fucking people getting off the ship, you're like howdy, welcome to Texas. They're like, oh god, it's just like the movies.
That's like what foreigners say when they come over here, and then when I go to Japan, I'm like, he's just like my anime. Fucking Otacon it.
Just like my Japanese anime.
And they're like, oh god, fucking what's the word for non-Japanese? The insult one, it's
gaijin.
Gaijin, yeah. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, gaijin. And I'm like, oh, he's saying words.
Oh, look, they got their own language. It's so cute. Where do I go? Where's the waifu store?
Where can I
maid cafe and leave with a harem?
Where's the giant squid? I want to fight some delinquents. Where are they?
Where are they? Show me them. I bet they're real small.
Yeah, I bet they're carrying a fucking a wooden sword. I bet they're what is it called? Not a bakto. That's wooden sword in Japan for all you non-speakers.
I'm very smart and educated.
I obviously don't watch a lot of anime. What's funny, I'm watching this anime right now. Not right now, but like it's called In the Land of Leedale. It's an isekai. And one of the words I
said of course it is.
Yeah, of course. And I'm watching it in English because I was watching it at work and I wanted to do other things while watching/listening. Mm-hmm. And when she meets this little boy who people don't want her to know that he's a prince because he like runs away from home. One of the characters was like, "Oh, thank God you cut the purr." I mean, this guy, the little young man. And she's like, they're like, oh no, she knows our secret. And she's like, I didn't hear anything but Pri, so I'm going to call him Primo. I'm like, Primo? Like,
Primo?
The Mexican word for cousin?
Like, okay. That was my first thought is like, are they doing a Spanish thing now?
I'm like, oh, okay then. And I just went with it. I don't question it, but every time she calls him Primo, I'm just like, I really want to watch this in a Japanese dub to see if that's what they call him, but I'm too lazy.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like, I don't know what the Japanese word for prince is, but I wonder if it's another thing like that where like
that's
start
what
the
I
word
was...
and then they're like, it's another word like Jeff.
But like that didn't work because like English is so different. So they were like, I guess Primo.
Yeah. I've heard someone call someone else Primo. It's fine.
That's so fucking funny. Did you find why Texas is fucking big?
I did. Basically, the trucks are the same, but it has like more horsepower.
This one comes with a cowboy hat.
It comes with a cowboy hat. The inside is leather.
Okay.
Basically, like leathered out the ass.
Damn.
And that's basically it, as far as I can tell. It's like the leather and the better engine. Yeah, it's basically like the premium one, or let's see, King Ranch trim. Yeah, Power Stroke diesel is an option. You could do the V8 engine, and then it's like the better sound system, the 12-inch infotainment, and then of course copious leather throughout of it.
It's the same as the other one, except 4 cows died for this one.
Exactly, that's correct.
Yeah. But that's very Texas. I don't know if this is in other places, but like everywhere you drive, like that's in between big cities, there's like at least 10 different cow farms, and you're always looking at the cows. Are like
the thing is, like, it's even more so. Like what you're talking about are like ranches that have cows on them. You haven't probably driven up in like North Texas, have you? Like Northwest Texas?
Not in so many years, dude.
Yeah, so Northwest Texas has like cow farms, like they've got like 40,000 head of steer in like a very small area, and it smells so bad. Whenever we drove up to Colorado, we drove up like through Lubbock, up through the top of Texas, and it's just like for an hour, you're just passing like cow farm after cow farm after cow farm, and you're like, God damn, this is depressing.
That's why no one lives there. Jeez. All the fun places are down here.
That's true.
All the fun places are in the middle and at the bottom. No one talks about the east and west.
West Texas is like... The worst thing about West Texas is that it's currently drying up, like in a very literal sense. So there's this thing where they get all their water from, right? Called the Ogallala Aquifer, and the Ogallala Aquifer is like huge, right? And it runs all the way down from like Nebraska and South Dakota, Wyoming. It runs all the way down to like Northwest Texas. And in Northwest Texas, that particular region, the Ogallala Aquifer is like drying up.
Oh no!
Like I'm looking at it. I'm looking at some maps now, and like they're just straight up running out of water in those areas. And like once that aquifer is gone, they've only got a couple of options, which are like pipe water in from other places or move. So like
get fucked, West Texas.
Yeah.
Fucking Ogallala is such a Texas name.
Yeah. Honestly though, it pretty much is. I don't know what it's named for.
Oodle.
Okay. It was named in 1898 by a geologist from its type locality near the town of Ogallala, Nebraska. So I guess they found the aquifer in like near Ogallala, Nebraska, and said, "Well, it's the Ogallala Aquifer," and it's all the way down here now.
Awesome. Nebraska, Louisiana, you can have West Texas.
Yep.
But just give us a stipend every month of just Creole and crab cakes.
Damn. Not even... Nebraska doesn't even know how to do that. Nebraska's just really making off like a bandit in this one.
No. If Nebraska takes them, they can send us cornbread and corn-based foods. I don't know what Nebraska's...
Just corn.
I don't know what
Nebraska's just corn, dog. That's all it is.
Corn dog.
See, like, when people talk about, like, did you know, like, the entire United States could be powered off of a wind farm the size of, like, this state or whatever? I'm like,
yeah,
fucking do it. Like, what are we doing with that state? Throw it away. Who gives a shit?
Fucking Minnesota. No, they have the Vikings. Nebraska, no one cares. The wind could blow that
North
corn.
Dakota, some shit. I don't care.
One of the Dakotas, just get rid of it.
Montana's got some beautiful mountains. Cover it with solar panels.
Yeah, cover it with solar panels. Put a big wind fan on the very peak.
Put only one wind generator, but it's the biggest one. It stretches up like 5 miles.
Throw a wind generator in a Taft volcano.
Yep, that's right. A Taft volcano is.
Okay,
that's where we're gonna start getting geothermal power from now.
Let's get fucking Randy Marsh on it right now. So we've spent an hour talking about anime and accents. These weren't even the topics that we talked about talking about.
It's true.
But we did want to go over a star. A star has burnt out recently, and if you've heard previous podcasts, he's one of my favorite actors. Gilbert Gottfried, my boy. Now he's telling dirty jokes to God. Just.
I get it's so. I never know what to say specifically because I don't believe in God.
No, well, I generally don't either, but I dude up to keep up appearances, you know. If I told my mom, if I told my mom I didn't, she'd probably kick my ass.
That's the other thing is you don't believe in God up until someone that you care about dies, and then you refer to them as if oh well they're in the afterlife doing this, and you're like, I don't know what that says about this. I don't want to think about it too much.
Well, you don't want to think about your loved ones just I don't know
just gone.
Yeah, just nothing,
blink out of existence.
Yeah, it makes you wonder man, is their consciousness just out, there's nothing, or what the hell's going on? That's why it's the biggest mystery. But it's just whenever someone passes, you're just I hope they're in a better place, and I hope they're having fun, and I hope they're doing, because you want them to not be nothing. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want the time that you spend and the time that they spent here and all that. You don't want any of that to be just gone. You know,
yeah.
It's such a hard thing because if that happens, then that brings you one step closer to well, what happens whenever I go? And
I think about it all the time, but it's just it's just one of those things, even if you don't have, any or a lot of faith, you know, you want someone that has passed, if you like them or, love them, you just want them to just go to somewhere better or, I guess, prosper in the next life. Because you never want to think that they just passed and you're well, now they're gone, and they'll never come back, and they're nothing now, and they're just...
That's it!
And that's it! That's not something... I don't even think that's healthy to think about.
I mean, if you focus on things like that too long, it is whenever they're oh yeah, you stare into the darkness stares back at you.
Yeah.
I think about, excuse me, there's a show... An older anime called Mushishi.
Oh yeah.
And one of the episodes was basically the way in which the concept around the show is that there are these life forms that most people can't see, and they're very close to what the base life form is. So if you look at your hand, you have at the end of each finger animals and fungi and plants and whatever, and then if you draw your fingers all the way down to your palm, that's where these mushi live, right? So they're basically the base form of everything, right? Yeah. And as a result, there's this big river under the whole planet where it's just mushi that live there, and if you can see them and you stare at that river for too long, you go insane, and it takes your eyesight. And that's what I think. That's what I think is happening sometimes whenever you're just alone with your thoughts, and you start to just toil around oh God, what happens after we die? What's going to happen to my memory? Do I even have a soul? If I do have a soul, does it live in my head? What happens if I died, someone cut off my head and attached it to a robot, and then attached a robot head to my living body? Which one is me? Am I the one in the head? Am I the head in the jar? Am I the body that's out there?
What's going on? What's happening? Yeah. I guess that's just you become RoboCop at that point.
That's correct.
That is a good example. not exact. You don't exactly like, but like that's a good example. Police officer died in the line of duty, and then he was dead, like dead. And then they used his body. He signed off on it, and his brain to be to make the cyborg, and he's supposed to only follow its protocols and everything, and not have like a I guess a consciousness. But then throughout the movie, he's just like, wait, I was an officer. I was living, and I was this person. I had a wife and I had a kid, and then like by the end of the movie, he's like, yeah, because at the beginning he's like, I am RoboCop. And because they were calling him Murphy, because his name was I think Frank Murphy, and or Alex Murphy, and then by the end of the movie, they're like Robo, what's going on? He's like, bringing in the scum, and by the way, it's Murphy. Da 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 da. Fucking love fucking RoboCop.
The RoboCop music's so fucking good.
So fucking good. It's funny that you say that you know. People think about death a lot when they're alone with their thoughts. I'm always alone and alone with my thoughts. I think about genies. I think about genies and like how much I want to make a wish on a genie.
So okay, I get now that you've brought this up. Now that's what we're going to be talking about. Okay, so everybody knows that like. The first thing that happens whenever you're like, if I had a genie, I would wish for more wishes. The first thing that everyone says, like, well, you can't do that. It's against the rules. And the response that I've heard is, you just got to wish for more genies. That's what it's got to be, right?
That's the workaround. Yeah.
So, like, if you had those 3 wishes and you couldn't like navigate your way to get more wishes, either by wishing for more genies or wishing that every wish was split up into a micro wish, and then the smallest form of wish can be infinitely replicable, and they can all reassemble into infinite wishes.
Look, I've told you about my wish. I'm gonna wish for the wish note.
Okay. Yes. Okay. That's it. Like, you can't do that though. You can't wish for the death note, but the wish note. You can't wish for You can't wish for some magic rocks that also grant wishes.
You wish for a journal that only you can write in that grants wishes like to the equivalent of what a genie can do, but like it's not as powerful, but it does grant wishes. That's my wish, and if it grants that, then that's cool. I don't gotta worry about it.
Honestly, it fucked up real bad.
I'm like, as he gives me the fucking thing, I'm like, this motherfucker just fucked up. Just he's like, what's your other 2 wishes? I'm like, for you to go to hell, and then I just live on with my fucking wish note. I don't know. I used to have very basic wishes, but like they're becoming more convoluted, and every once in a while, I try to figure out like I'm gonna fucking meet a genie. I figure out.
Listen, you gotta have your genie strat ready, because if you do find a genie, what if the genie is like what if the genie is only out while you're rubbing the lamp? Right?
Yeah.
And then if you stop rubbing the lamp, he's gone forever. So you just have to keep rubbing this lamp while you think about your wishes. And at some point, you're fucked, right? If you don't have your wishes ready to go, you're going to fuck it up. So, like, totally makes sense.
You can't be caught off guard. So, like, that's why I'm always just, like, tooling. I should write it down. That's why I'm always tooling my wishes. I'm like, the old folklore always say 3 wishes, but, like, we don't know. Like, what if it's more? Or, like, what if it's just 1? You want...
Dog, any amount of, like, mythical thing, we don't know anything about it, right? Like, if genies are real, who knows how many wishes you get? If vampires are real, who knows if they hate the cross, right? Like,
who knows if diabetic blood tastes worse? Like,
Correct.
I had a angry conversation with one of my coworkers about that, but I guess that would save some people. But
that's true. Nasty.
It's gross. It's gross is what it is. Just I'm just saying, we don't know these mythic creatures and their rules, but I'd like to believe genies at least grant wishes. And I'm always tooling my wishes to be ready on off chance I meet a genie, which, God, it's always in the shower. I'm always doing this in the shower. I'm just like, well, if I say this could be like, what's it called? Monkey pawed into this, or like fucking tooled into that. So I'm like, I wonder if the genie would let me be very specific and like be like, okay, I want this to happen, but if you give me this, I want this to be like counter to this, or like I want to be very specific and be like, will you let me be very specific with my wishes? Like, if I had the power to, this is one of my wishes. Because I want to help people and then make other people's lives miserable.
Damn.
I know. I want okay, genie, I'm going to be very specific, so fucking open your ears. I want the ability to, change, basically shape-shifting. But I want the ability I want that ability, but to give it for me or anyone else I want. And I want the changes to be permanent and so also not just cosmetic. And I want it to be very specific, not just for appearances. I want it to be internal as well as external. And I also, with this ability, gives me 6 different presets to where I can have my form be just fucking quick changed, like a fucking video game. And that's one of the wishes. I'm still tooling around with how I should word it, but I want that ability so that way I can change my appearance on the fly, or if someone is not happy with like how they're like, oh man, I wish I was taller. I'm like, boom, you're like 4 inches taller, or you're your ideal weight, or your ideal height, or you're your ideal gender, or some guy cut me off and like took the last soda at the Stripes, and he's just laughing at me. He's like, ah, you're a bitch, and I got this one. Well, then like I pat him on the back and I make his dick 1 inch. And or like someone that wrongs me, I make their butthole like very tiny, so like they have really hurtful poops. Just
you need to have tiny butthole.
Like I want to be able to help, and when I'm internally as well, like if someone has like a disease or problems, or they're having like things that like a doctor can't help with, I want to just like be able to touch them and be like, I fixed it now you're good. So it's basically for like family members and friends, and I guess people I'm just gonna break into the hospital and go and help them, like children in sick wards.
I mean, all of this makes sense, and I do find it very funny that you decided to include the clause about like, I want to be able to change anybody's body, and I was like, oh yeah, that's like a really nice altruistic thing. And you're like, and if somebody fucking cuts in front of me, ooh, their fucking butthole is small, like.
I mean, that was an example. Like, I wouldn't be so petty for like something so small. But like, if like someone on the street is like trying to rob me, I would make it so that like my skin was stab proof. So if he like has a knife, he couldn't like stab me and it like cause damage, or like make my skin like bulletproof. So that way I could just walk up to him and make his dick little.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, like that's the kind of that's the wish I want, because I feel like that wish is so good. It's almost like it could help a lot of people, as well as like myself, as well as all my friends, family, people like that are less fortunate, that like they can't do anything about their appearance. Like I feel like that's a very good wish. That's why I'm always just like retooling it. No one can take it. Trademark. That's a fee wish.
Listen, I've had very similar thought, but mainly like there are two superpowers that I've thought about. One of them is much more reasonable, and the other one is less.
Okay.
So one, the more reasonable one is I wish that I could teleport anywhere that I wanted to, so long as I could see it.
Okay, Jumper. Like Jumper.
Yeah, I have never seen Jumper, so I guess yes. But yeah, so like that has like its own built-in limitations, right? Like, you know, put me in a dark room, I can't do anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess if
also
you
has
could
its own.
Oh, so you're like Nightcrawler.
Yeah. Just like Nightcrawler, in which like if I can see it, I can do it. But that also like there's some dangers that come with that, right? Because like, what if I look at the moon and accidentally teleport to the fucking moon?
Well, I mean, is there a distance? Is there a distance limitation?
No.
That's fair.
The thing is, I want to make this as like dangerous as possible. So if I accidentally look at the sun, I'm fucking dead. The end.
Well, I mean, I guess if you thought it, like if you look at the sun and like you thought about it, you're like, oh fuck, wonder if it's hot up there.
Oh shit! Oh damn!
Would it looking at pictures like say you're like, hey, people that are like traveling, send me pictures of like this exotic location. If you look at the pictures, could you teleport there?
That would be a cool idea. I wanted to make it to where the power was like, again, like very limited. So the way in which you could stretch this is like you could look at the clouds, teleport to a cloud, and then like
just fall to the ground.
To simulate flying, right? You could just basically teleport to a thing you could see in the sky, and then you could continue teleporting by continuing to look at stuff or look at the ground or whatever, right? And that's sort of the basic idea there, because like pictures basically mean that opens up the door to like, well, I thought of it, why can't I just teleport there? I thought of an imaginary place, why can't I teleport there? Why can't I teleport inside my video game?
We're talking about like Earth though. Why give yourself limitations? Like if I see it, I'm there. Like
because it's more fun to like play around with those limitations,
I guess.
In fact, the other superpower that I thought of, which is very much overpowered, but I also built in some safety measures into it as well, to handicap it a little bit.
Okay. Just in case I go evil.
Well, so the idea is that you can do anything, right? Like anything you can think of, you can do it.
Oh, okay.
Change appearance, fix people's diseases, roll back time, whatever. But there is a cost for it, and the cost for it is sleep. And so, you form the wish that you have in your mind. You think I want to go back in time 15 seconds. Very inconsequential, but it is reversing time, which is a very high cost. So maybe you sleep. Maybe you can go back for 15 seconds. Like you go back 15 seconds in time, then you sleep for 3 weeks, right?
Oh, okay.
Or if you're like, I just want to be over this cold. Well, that's a really easy thing. You go to sleep for 8 hours and it's gone, right?
Yeah.
But
that's
you
like
want to cure someone's terminal cancer.
Yeah.
Then it's you got to go sleep for 2 months because that's a big fucking thing to do.
See, well, that's where my cosmetic power would come in. Like, I could fix someone's terminal cancer just by, simply them telling me I have this wrong with me. I'm like, okay, bam, fixed. Touch them.
But no, you don't anymore.
I'm like,
and also, you got a big butthole.
Yeah.
I fixed you up a little bit, gave you a bit of butthole,
Look, I saw your wiener on the way in. I wasn't impressed, so I gave you a bigger one.
I wasn't impressed. Listen, I'd be real embarrassed if I were you. Well, I thought my wiener was fine. No, it's really not. But don't worry, we'll be soon.
Here you go. Your wife's gonna be real happy. I feel like that power, like, is the one that I said was so good. I also thought about, like, the power to give myself any superpower, which then that would encompass the first wish, but then I could also have, like, flight and super strength.
Flight
and
invisibility.
Like, telepathy and all that stuff. Because, like, if I am like, oh, I want this superpower, I could dictate how strong or weak that power is. And, I'm just saying, I wonder if the genie has the capability to do that for me. If I tell him, I'm like, I wish for the ability to give myself any superpower at any time for any amount of time, anytime.
That's effectively, I want to be my own genie.
Yeah, but if I say I want to be my own genie, I have to live in a lamp.
Is that true? Right?
I don't.
Like you're both the genie and the master of the genie. So it's like, I don't know. Do you live in a lamp or not?
I'm like, look, genie, just give me all your powers, but don't make me a genie. That was Jafar's first fucking folly.
Goes, damn, man. I was so close to Jafar and you. Ooh.
Just give me all of your power, except I don't want to be a genie.
The thing is, what? Okay, so let's say this: you get the 3 wishes. Your first wish is, I want to be as powerful. I want to do all of the things that you could do with none of the limitations. Bam, genie makes it happen. What do you do with the other 2 wishes?
I asked the genie if he wants to be free and free him. I guess.
All right.
Because do genies like that? I mean, I'd be like, you get to be.
Question.
I'd be like, genie. I'm like, my second wish is for you to be free and no longer have your genie powers, so that way you can never oppose me. There you go.
Pretty good.
Look, you don't want him, because if you're just like, you don't have to be a genie anymore. Well, you didn't say you didn't take away his powers, so now you have an equal omnipotent enemy there. And
who's also free and can do anything. And
if
you ever fight, then it's it.
Yeah, and so to nip that in the bud, you gotta throw in the line like, alright, Genie. Because at the end of Aladdin, when he freed Genie, he still had his powers.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta be like, alright, Genie, I wish you were free and not a genie anymore. And also had none of the powers. And then he's just like, what? And then fucking turns into like a regular ass human, and now
you're like, haha, joke's on you. Now you gotta pay taxes and shit. Get a job, idiot.
Exactly. And you're like, and by the way, I have the power to give you a new life. Here's your social security card and a passport, and also $1 million to get you started. Get out there.
To get you a small loan of $1 million.
Yeah.
To get you started. Get out of here, you scamp.
That's how you do.
I've got genie stuff to do.
I've got omnipotent things to do. Which I wouldn't do anything. I think, because I thought about having powers like that. And I basically was like, I would torment one of my roommates. I would live in the apartment directly across from this apartment. And,
okay.
I would make it so that way no other apartment or any other housing or anything would ever accept him as a tenant, or he wouldn't be able to buy his property. So that way he is forced to live across from me.
Damn.
And I would just be a little shit with them all the time. And
just
also
be so loud.
And also, he could never get a job other than the one he has right now, and he could never go higher or lower. He's always just stuck there. So he's stuck in the area, stuck in the apartment, stuck right across from me.
Damn. Damn, that's pretty torturous. That's honestly hell.
Yeah, I know, but like, to be a little shit. Like, he's free to do whatever he wants, do anything he wants, and I'd throw him some money every once in a while, but I'd make him come and just be like, oh, like, you want a loan. Like, well, you don't gotta pay me back, but you gotta say, you gotta get on your knees and you gotta say please and beg, and you know, kind of appease to my fucking, my shitty side. Just because I, you know, you're kind of an asshole sometimes. But, like, this isn't permanent. This is just, at one point I'll let it be that he's free to do whatever he wants. But in his mind, he already thinks that he can't, so.
Man. So, you saying that reminded me that yesterday, I was looking up, just stuff on YouTube, and the latest episode of the Chris Chan documentary went up, and it just reminded me because this is the episode in which Christine at this point has been convinced by two people that fictional worlds are real, and that whenever they're like talking online, they're talking from other dimensions, and so they were like, oh yeah, you know, my screen name is whatever, Edgelord69, but I'm actually, you know, this character from Sword Art Online, and I'm in your fictional universe torturing your wife right now. And Christine's like, no, don't you torture my wife. Don't do it. And they're like, all right, I'll stop torturing your wife and take her to the hospital because she's bleeding a lot now. But only if you record a video of yourself singing a cover of All Star by Smash Up, but performed in an angry and constipated style. And so Christine's like, hey, now you're an All Star. Fucking terrible.
Okay, so let me.
It just reminds me of that like, good thing that fucking that your roommate wouldn't be trapped in that situation where he's like, listen, I want to be able to buy and do nice things, but every time I do it, it just makes me do the happy little boy dance. What's the happy little boy dance? Well, I've got to take off all my clothes and wear my underwear, and I have to juggle eggs in my hand in the parking lot and say, I'm a happy little boy. And if I drop any of the eggs, then I don't win.
And that's also the funny thing, like I'm gonna be in my apartment. My apartment also is basically it's also omnipotent because
okay,
you know, when I open it, you know, I have this nice big open, you know, living room with all this great amenities, and my big room, and you know, some of my extra rooms, but also there's always a couple of doors that just lead to other places. And I always have it that I have this infinite AI that just is in charge of the house, that anytime I ask it what to do, it can it can switch anything in the house, like on the fly, and it knows everything. Also, it can never fucking iRobot on me.
So you dare. Listen, I'm a fucking genie. Don't you dare iRobot me.
Exactly. So like, and that's the stipulation for that. So it can never do that. So like, I want my apartment to look just really cool and out of this weird place. So like, if he ever like calls the police or like tells the apartment or something that like some weird stuff's going on with me and I'm doing really crazy
being made
things,
to do the happy boy dance in the parking lot. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
And then he's like, just go look at his apartment, and I just, you know, have my AI make it look like a normal apartment. And they go in, and they're just like, okay, so this guy's crazy.
You're like, yeah, I know. It sucks that he can't live literally anywhere else. Don't know why that happens.
Yeah, I wonder why he can't move anywhere else or get a better job.
Stare over the cop's shoulder at him outside, and he's like,
fucking Twilight Zone. He's just... and you know, then they leave, and I'm just like, oh, I'm like, poor you. And then I open my fucking door, and it's just the extravagant apartment again, so he feels like he's going crazy.
Yeah, just fucking, it's just full of tropical birds and shit.
Like, honestly, if I had those kind of powers, I'd be such a little shit to people. Just, I wouldn't do anything that would drastically change the world, but I would go and help, like, innocent people, like children in sick wards and, like, cancer patients and, like, all that stuff. But then I would be a petty asshole to some people. Like, For sure I would. So, like, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, if me thinking that way, but, like, I think that would be fun. But that's, like, very, not, I guess greedy's not the word, but, like, selfish. I'd say
it's shitty of you, yes.
Yeah, shitty and selfish, but, like, I'd also help a lot of people, so I think it offsets it. If I'm looking at the news and it's like, man is sentenced to life for, you know, going into this doctor's clinic and beating all the women, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and make terrible things happen to him. Like, he's just gonna have constant diarrhea, and his wiener's gonna be little, and I'm gonna have it so that way, like, he can't kill himself, but he can take a beating, and, like, people beat him up. Just make bad things happen to him. Like, every time he fucking takes a dump, it's always just nails. You know, nail poop.
Man. You know, nail poop. Just the standards.
Yeah, and then, like, you know, like lactating fucking just mice. I don't know.
I think, listen, with that visual of somebody pooping nails and lactating mice, we're going to go ahead and end this episode this week. We're at an hour and a half to talk about one thing that we wanted to talk about. That's enough. That's a record. Good job, everyone. You can follow us on social media. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Our podcast is on every platform. Rate us on every platform.
Hell yeah.
All of the stars that you possibly can, and then leave any amount of review. You know what? In the comments section.
Tell us your wish.
In the comments section, tell us, what would you like to lactate? What's the worst thing you could lactate? Is it lava? Maybe. Tell us.
I was gonna say he like lactated sulfuric acid, but then I'm like, wait a minute, he could weaponize that.
Oh no. It's got to be something that's real stupid and painful at the same time. Mice. Listen, what I want you to do is I want you to find your magic lamp. I want you to get all of your wishes together, and I want you to go get them.
Get him. Oh shit. I'm trolling.
I don't need a genie. I already have everything I want.
I am a genie.
Why do you think I wrote everything that's ever been written ever?
Why do you think I thought of everything first?
Couldn't be a regular man that thought of Star Wars, huh? Had to be some kind of super genius genie. In fact, the word genie is ingenious. I would know. I made the word genius.
It was I created words. I'm the... I was there when the Big Bang happened.
Where do you think I got the inspiration for the Death Star blowing up? Just watched the Big Bang and said, ooh, that would be cool.
That'd be cool if I create a civilization and they watch this happen.
Step 1, make civilization. Step 2, make movies.
God damn it. Alright, bye. Shit.